everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Get Financially Fit, brought to you by the Financial Spot, powered by Liberty Bank. I'm your host, Brooks Benjamin, and I'm here with my lovely co host, Maria Newman Carrere. And today, and my special guest, sorry, I almost forgot. My special guest, Mike Lotten, who is with our mortgage division. He's one of our very experienced and expert mortgage originators. So, and today we're going to talk about mortgage if you haven't figured it out yet. It's really one of the biggest financial decisions a lot of us make, buying a home. So I'm so excited to talk with y'all about this today.
Yeah, the mortgage thing is a hot topic. It is something that the bank is passionate about. This is the first step to building generational wealth. So I am so excited to have Mike here. And so he's going to get down to the nitty gritty and help you to understand what your needs are or need to do as you navigate this mortgage process.
My name is Mike Lotten. Been with Liberty about 14 years. Been in the business about 40 years. So I've been in almost every area of the mortgage industry. Currently with Liberty, as I said, 14 years originating with Liberty. Enjoying it, great company to work for.
Well, that's awesome. And I've actually worked with you previously, many, many moons ago in the mortgage department.
We've come full circle.
I know, we've come full circle. But let's jump right in. One of the most pressing questions that is on everybody's mind is interest rates, and if they're going up or down. We see a lot of fluctuations lately. So can you give us an update on where we are with interest rates in 2024?
Okay. I can do as best I can. Everybody thinks that inflation directly impacts the interest rate, and technically it does not. However, rising prices on goods and services affect the Federal Reserve, which in the long run affects things like mortgages. As it relates, I've been doing mortgages for 40 years. I think I bought my first house and the rate was like 13, maybe 13%.
Wow.
I think I did the bulk of the business, if I'm going to bring it down to years, probably when the rate was somewhere around 11. You know, and in my opinion, rate is really it's not a factor, because somewhere down the line you're going to always have opportunity to refi. It's just got to be affordable to you at this point.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a good segue, isn't it, Brooks?
Yeah, well, and Mike, he always joking with me because I talk about my 4 kids. And he always be like, how the children? Are they eating?
Absolutely. I'm concerned.
He be like, you want to give them a peppermint?
I'm concerned. I'm truly
But
concerned.
honestly, like with a big family, we are always thinking about like how to, afford groceries, and really all our money goes to groceries. So yes, they are eating, and they're eating me out of house and home. But so with like you said, with the rates going up and down, it can feel overwhelming to, figure out when the best time is to lock in your mortgage rate. And a lot of people don't know that you can do that. Like they just think that, me personally, I thought that it's just whatever rate it is at that time. So I didn't know I could lock in my rate and that's going to be my rate whenever we close. So can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. The rate can change daily, several times, several times a day. And you can lock in a rate, which is, I guess, a good thing and a bad thing. It sort of depends on the person. I guess most of the time you've got to put a lot of faith into the loan officer that you're working with. And I say that to say this. The market now is 6.25%, right around 6.25% as it relates to interest rates. Well, tomorrow it could be 6%. Tomorrow it could be 6.5%. That jump that high. I'm just giving you an example. You can always lock in that rate. And I'm just going to say that on my end, what I do with my customers is I kind of, I guess based on experience and based on the market attempt to project on what I think they should do based on what's happening out there in the real world. But of course, that's a gamble. Some folks don't like the gamble. Well, you can always lock it in, and that gives you two things. It gives you peace of mind, because now you're not worried about it. And it clarifies your budget, because now you know exactly what the payment's going to be, and it's inside of my budget, and I'm fine. So I say again that it's a gamble. It's a gamble.
And speaking of, since you said that, that's cool to understand about locking in the rate, but is there something that before we get to that point that a customer can do that will help them with the loan process? Because remember, you and I were on the phone, and our customers, they like to go out, they found their dream house. Maria, I found my house. Okay. Well, okay, did we already qualify you? No. What? So how you found your dream house? So can you kind of talk about the best, maybe it's maybe not the best way, but what we maybe should do for our customers first before we take that leap into buying a house?
Yeah. Well, in today's market, I don't think there's a real estate agent that'll begin to show you any property without being qualified, without being pre-qualified, without talking to a lender and have the lender say you're okay for this. For two reasons. A, they don't know what to show you because they don't know what range you're in. And of course, B, they don't want to waste their time because they don't know if you qualify at all. So the beginning, in my opinion, the beginning would be you're coming to the institution, coming to the bank, come on Liberty, you get pre-qualified. And when I say pre-qualified, I mean we define just what you can do in terms of how much you can qualify for, and if there are any programs that we can put you in. If you fit in one of these boxes for one of these programs that are like first-time homebuyer programs or grants or what have you that we offer, because we offer them all. You come to us, let us do that. At that point, then you're dealing with the real estate agent because they're going to be looking for some kind of documentation from us saying, look, you're okay to go.
Yeah. Because, having that pre-qualification, I think, is what's going to give them the confidence in the institution, as well as giving them the confidence to know, okay, this is what I can really afford versus what I can't, which I think is a good segue, isn't it? Look at us.
So, and that, which brings me to, like, some people think that they can afford something, but then they really can't. And then home prices are going up. I feel like they, especially like in New Orleans, I feel like they always going up. So what are some of the biggest challenges people face when looking at affording homes and really like getting real with the actual house I can afford?
Well, I don't know that there are challenges. I think that we just have to get together, get our budget together, get our mind together, and get ready for that process, which may entail taking care of some credit issues, moving some money around in the savings, those kind of things, or defining where we're going to go, and if where I want to go, there's some assistance I can get as a new buyer, a first-time home buyer, if that's the case,
So would you agree that this is where, and I'm just going to go back, Brooks, to, our many podcasts ago, right? As we talk about getting financially fit. Mike, would you agree that this is where truly establishing a banking relationship comes into play so that the customer can better understand, hey, look, we're going to pre-qualify you for this, but we got to look at, you got to have money for insurance. You got to have a reserve. There's some things, can't really spend anything. We got to keep you at this level. So can we kind of talk through that process?
I think
I know it's going to be on a per person basis.
I think what you're asking is, if I heard you correctly, is, am I ready? Is it a good time? I think that's what I'm hearing. And I'm going to say that the time is now.
Okay.
Factually, if you go to the statistics of the mortgage industry, they'll always say that fall is the best time to buy. October is the best time to buy. For some reason, there's an influx at that time. If you look at all of the numbers, I'm always say that the time to buy is now. It's when you're ready, and I say that for two reasons. Number one, is because some of the programs that you may be looking to benefit from may not be available at that time. You know, a lot of the programs run out of money. You know, that's number one. And then two, I always say you've got to consider what you're looking for. And keep in mind that, you know, some folks who wait till, well, let me wait a little bit till the rates get low, or you know, and what tends to happen is you begin to not lose the stock in the marketplace, but it becomes very competitive. If I want the house on Avenue A, and that's the one I'm looking at, and I'm ready, I'm not gonna wait and watch the rate. I'd rather get what I want and have it, and refi later on if I have to. Because keep in mind that when those things happen, when rates begin to decrease, everything becomes to get competitive. You know, and you might be saving a little bit on the rate, but it's beating you on the sales price. Because now you're competing with the next guy, because we all want that piece now. You know, and I'm a true believer in, let me buy it, and if the rate drops, I can always come back and refi it.
Oh, I like that rhyme. Let me buy it, and if the rates go down, I can refi it.
I could run for office on that one.
So you talked about some of the programs, first-time home buyers, down payment assistance programs that people could look into. Can you tell us about some that Liberty?
Absolutely. And let me tell you the great thing about Liberty, and why I made it my home. In the mortgage industry, there are several types of loans, a whole lot of programs, from FHA to VA to conventional to the rural development piece, to all of the first-time home buyer programs that are available, and that might be the best program for you. You know, each program, when you come to us, or when you come to me, I'm going to fit you in a box that I think is the best one for you. So there are a lot of programs out there. I think the great thing here is, unlike a standard mortgage banker, Liberty has its own piece. You know, it develops some products that are outside of the policies that the Feds put in line, because we all have rules to follow, and at least at Liberty, if they look at something and say, okay, we see a lot of this is happening, and you know, you got to have this score to go with this product. Well, let us create something where we can maybe change up a little bit, and you can do this with this score. You know, and that's a piece that I like. We call those like portfolio projects. And we offer those, and I think that's a great piece.
Yeah, and that's what I like about working with Mike, is because Mike, and any mortgage lender at Liberty, we're not in the business of saying no.
Right.
We want to do the loan. We really do. But you got to give us our reasons to do the loan, right? And so the key to that is also to make sure that because he's not in the no business, or anyone at Liberty, we're not in the no business. What we want to make sure is that we're having real conversations centered around real ways for you to build your wealth. Those are real conversations, right? And so, you know, don't get upset. Don't get, you know, feel some type of way attitude. Just know that we're doing this in your best interest. And I promise you, Mike is infamous for saying, look, let's wait 45 days. We're going to do this. I'm going to check some things. If it works out, we moving forward. If we not, guess what? We're going to wait another 45 days. But usually if the originator is telling you this, they're not telling you this because they want to deny you. They're telling you this because something is going to give pause for cause. Someone is going to ask questions. So rather than do that, let's set you up for the success so that you can have your house, be happy, and we moving on to the next thing that you may want to do, whether that's take equity out to do, you know, some renovations and stuff like that. So Liberty has everything for you.
And that's I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's a great piece. A lot of times, people will do things thinking that it's going to better the situation, and sometimes it does not. Sometimes it doesn't really work. That's why I always say, if you're looking to make the mortgage loan, talk to the lender, come see us, and let us tell you what we think you should do, if anything. If we, in our cases, I'm always say, if we're saying no, we're not saying no for a long period of time. We're saying no, but do this and come back and see us, just like you were mentioned.
And that's really important because it's really a case by case basis. So like I love at Liberty, it's like you may have some credit challenges. Now you need to have decent credit, but you may have some credit challenges. You may not have, a lot of money saved, but we can still figure out a way to get you into a home on an individual basis.
Exactly.
And be honest. Like, everybody have their issues. And once we, pull the credit, we're going to see anyway. So come to your lender and just be honest with, what
absolutely. And again, like I always say, let me fit you in the box. Because there's a box for everybody. And in some cases, there are deals you can do where you don't need the down payment. You don't need the money. Those are those grand or those assisted deals. Well, you don't need that. There are deals where sellers can pay some cost for you. Those kind of things can happen. So, I always say, never say no till we tell you no.
So before we wrap up, I just want to look at like bigger picture and get your opinion on where you think the market is headed and in 2025. I know we were talking earlier. You like, I ain't no trend. I don't know all the trends and stuff. I just know how to.
I just know what I seen what's out there.
Yes.
And I know right now that the market is around maybe 6 1/4 up in there somewhere, and we're looking for the rate to fall slightly, nowhere near what people are thinking. A few years ago we had those 3% rates. It's not happening. That's not happening. And because people tend to wait, and when you say the rates are going to decrease, they're looking for that kind of bump.
When rates
right. And it really, right. Well, like I said, I did most of my deals when the rates were 11. It's just a sign of the times. But I do know, as it relates to trends, there's a lot of reasons why I feel that things are not moving as they should. I think a big part of that is historically, or years ago, let me change that. Years ago, folks were getting these 3% rates, 3.5, 2.75. Folks were getting those rates. And now, would-be sellers are holding back on selling property to keep those rates. Because keep in mind, if our seller got to go buy somewhere else, so a lot of times you have would-be sellers who would normally be putting houses on the market, and things would be moving. They're not doing that because they're protecting what they have. They're comfortable with that. Although they want something else, they keep in mind, well, I got this 2.5, I got this 3% rate, I'm not going to get that.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And I find that that's what happened. That's what happened. Now, locally, as it relates to us right here, another big piece of our problem is insurance.
Yeah.
Because our insurance is absolutely haywire. Absolutely haywire. I've seen deals where you may be buying a house for maybe $200, $2.25, coming back with homeowners insurance policy at $10,000, $11,000, which makes the payment not affordable to the buyer.
Yeah.
So some folks run just when they see the insurance.
Yeah.
A lot of times I get a deal in a contract and what have you, and once they give me the insurance and I tell them what that payment is now, they run.
Yeah.
So I find out that most of the agents out there, before they write a contract, get an insurance quote, which is something we never did in the past.
No. Yeah.
And that's how times are changing.
Yeah. And I think that's the important thing that we're doing a segment like this is because people really do need to know. So going back to what Mike said earlier, if he was to suggest anybody, whether it's fall time, springtime, summertime, if the time is right, the time is right. The only thing for me being part of the business development team, what I want to convey to our customers is that we want the time to be right, but let's make sure that before you've made that step, you have everything in order. Because Mike is going to tell you exactly what is and is not.
Well,
right.
I mean, yeah. I mean, look. I mean, absolutely, because that makes the process easy for you and easy for me.
Yep.
You know, and I feel great when I can sit down and tell you before we even start the process, before you get the contract, you good.
Yeah.
This is fine. This is gonna work out for you.
And that's
You know,
what I appreciate
start packing.
about Mike. He's
You know,
so
start
honest. He's gonna be completely real. Anybody I tell, if they come to me and ask me about, I want to buy a house. I want to, who should I work with to buy the house? I'd be like, call Mike, because he's gonna tell you the real deal about, you know, if you
Mike
can
knows.
really do this.
Good,
Mike,
good, good or bad.
Good or bad.
And might not use the words you want me to use either.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So no, but that's the one thing also, just to plug Liberty in this way, is that Mike knows and appreciates the team that he has around him. You know, he can be and has been a one-man show, you know, with he and his processor and stuff. But he really does appreciate if he gets somebody to refer something to him, he's working with us and he's walking even us through the process, because sometimes he's now, you know, now that we've been doing this a couple of years, we getting a little comfortable with it. And he's like, yo, okay, Maria, look, I need you to help me out with this. Get these answers to get the answers to these questions and stuff. And it's like truly a team effort thing. So I like that idea.
Yeah, and I have to tattoo that, because in the mortgage department, we have a great team, you know, from beginning to end, from processing to underwriting to closing to shipping. We really have a great team.
Yeah.
You know.
And I'm just glad to be a part of it. I'm just on the front end, you know, but it's always good.
So we have talked about a whole lot today. We talked about interest rates, affordability, credit, and the products that Liberty offers as far as mortgages. So before we wrap up, can y'all share just one takeaway that you want the audience to know? If they didn't hear the whole thing, just that one thing that they need to know as they navigate the mortgage process.
Okay. That one thing I want that I would say is that it is not as difficult as you think. You know, a lot of times people are so nervous and frightened about coming to make a mortgage, or the process, and it's just not that difficult. You know, I know I make it easy, or I try to. You know, because you got to have a comfort factor there.
Yeah.
You know, so you can talk to people and get things out of them. But it is not that hard. It is not that difficult.
Yeah.
You know what? I always say, well, there's a will, there's a way.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And I will, you know, tattoo that, as you say. And I will also emphasize the fact that I think it is important to have conversations early. You know, if you're a customer of Liberty Bank, do not be afraid to pick up the phone, whether you're talking to me or you say, hey, Maria, can I talk to Mike? Absolutely. He will give you that 10, 15, 20 minutes to just make sure that you're comfortable with it, he's comfortable with the ask, and then we're moving forward with qualifying, or you're going to his link to, you know, fill out the application, whatever all of that looks like. But I think the takeaway from me is that truly establish a banking relationship.
Yep.
You establish that and you come to us and we're going to give you that personalized service. I think you'll be on easy street.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Mike and Maria, for sharing with us today.
M&Ms make friends.
That means I'm M&M.
Oh, Mike.
That went over my head.
If you would like to get more information about our mortgage products, mortgage process, you can visit our website, libertybank.net. And actually, Mortgage has its own website, which is mortgagesbylibertybank.net or .com.
I think it's .com.
Okay. mortgagesbylibertybank.com, and we'll put it down on the screen so you can see it. We'll also put a QR code for you to scan, and it'll take you directly to Mike's page. And just contact him if you have any questions or anything. Again, thank you for joining us at the Financial Spot powered by Liberty Bank. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get alerts when we drop this and next episodes of the Let's Get Financially Fit podcast. And we will see y'all next time. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.